What's going on, Falcon Nation? Voice of the Friends Falcons, Pat Strathman, alongside head football coach at Friends University, Terry Harrison. Friends University 1-0 after a 31-14 win over Oklahoma Panhandle State on the road. And now the next test, conference opener on the road against a team that has won a conference title in 3 of the last 4 years, in number 12, Kansas Wesleyan University on the road. We'll talk to Coach Harrison about that game in particular. We'll break down game number 1, but we'll also be joined by a couple players. We'll be joined by Zach Dressler, who had a tremendous game against Oklahoma Panhandle State on the road in week number 1. Couple touchdowns, over 150 yards rushing. Not a bad day for Zach Dressler, and we'll talk more about him. And Nolan Ewing will also be a part of the show. He had an interception in that game, a pretty crucial one, too, if that mattered, to swing things in favor of the Falcons. But, of course, let's start with Coach Harrison here on the program. Coach, going on the road, we talked about it last week. We knew that there would be adversity just going on the road. Just that in particular, that alone is going to give you adversity. To fall behind 14-0 right off the bat, it's all right. Now we'll see if this team can come together and stay together. And, boy, the answer was 31 unanswered points. Probably could have been more, but 31 unanswered points. Defense tightened things up. Offensively, things were able to finally be finished on drives. And at the end of the day, a 1-0 start to the Friends University football program and your first football win as the head football coach of the Friends University Falcons. So congratulations on that. Your overall thoughts on the game?
Yeah, just what a great – we didn't do ourselves any favors early. I guess I'll say that, right? Which is stating the obvious for anybody who watched at home and then obviously on the sideline. But, man, it was everything we wanted to be. You know, when you schedule a non-conference game at a place like Panhandle, you know, in a place they call no man's land, they're very proud of that. You know, when you schedule that game, you had a brand new program with a brand new group of kids and brand new coaches here, you know, what we're treating like a startup program. You know, there's some unknowns, but man, I think everything that we could have gained as a program, we were able to do that, right? And so, you know, obviously our first win as a program, first non-conference win as a program, some of the milestones that we've tried to reach, but then, you know, facing some adversity. And one of the things we've said this whole time is we need to go through some hard times together. And when you're in the middle of a 14-0 and it was looking pretty bleak and hard, I think that was just one of those moments as a program that everybody's going to be able to point to, you know, for the next several years. I'm like, man, that moment right there where our kids rose to that challenge was just instrumental in whatever success we're going to have, you know. And man, certainly proud of the kids, and what a huge testament to the leadership of those kids that stuck it out here through some pretty tough times. And man, I hope that, you know, all the families that were there, man, I think we outnumbered the home team potentially.
I saw a lot of red. I saw a lot of red on the camera.
Man, I just hope that there at some level there was a little bit of reward or whatever. I don't even know what that means, but just that there's been a payoff for the investment they've made in Friends and sticking with it, you know, despite some tough times with a brand new coaching staff. So no, couldn't be more proud. Man, it's so fun, and proud of the coaches. You know, I think the cool part was, you know, veteran coaching staff, so new school, but we've all coached together. I think that was a big part of the game. And then the kids, obviously, they played really well, and when it got hard, they didn't break apart. They stuck together, and man, I think it just speaks to the type of kids we have. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, what was the message down 14-0? What, did you even say anything? Was it just simply, you know what, let's see what happens here? Because sometimes not saying anything sometimes can be even better. Like, let's see what the true character is like here before we step in, just to see what type of character we truly have. I don't know if you did that or not. I'm sure you probably said something, because let's be real, like, if you fall behind 14-0, it's, hey, we need to do this, be better tacklers, finish drives, that type of stuff. But I don't know. I think it's always unique when you're on the road, when you're down 14-0. Coaches can say stuff, but it's all about the player morale and what they're showing, the body language. And I didn't feel like it was a defeated team down 14-0.
Yeah, you know, at no point did we really feel that. You know, and it is hard when you fall down, and like you wish you had magic words, right? To just you want them to have success, and you want to be, you know, perform really well. But you know, I think a couple of things like you talked about, we had some missed opportunities on defense where it was like you could see that we're gonna give these guys a hard time. And you know, Coach Kemp on the sideline, he was like, hey man, we're gonna, you know, we looked at each other in the eyes a little bit, like, hey man, we've been on the front end of some big wins, and we've been on the back end of some bad losses in the past. But he's like, we're going to stop these guys. And just seeing his confidence, I think kids can feel that on the sidelines. So when they're going to the bench and they're talking about stuff, it was just missed opportunities. And that's, you know, like we talked about, that's what we needed. That's why we played that game, was for those guys to learn from it, to get those opportunities and see if we made those plays. So we knew defensively that if we can just convert on opportunities, Coach Kemp felt really good about, you know, what we were doing. And then obviously with our experience as a staff together, we didn't have film of them, so it was kind of just like a little bit of a guesswork when you're preparing. So obviously when he was able to sit down and show the guys, hey, this is what they're doing and this is what we're going to do to stop it, I think that was big. And then offensively, again, missed opportunities. They ran a front we hadn't seen. And it's just a matter of getting them over there, settling them down, because there's no doubt our desire to win and our desire to be successful from our kids is super high. No matter what happens, if we'd have lost that 31-14, our kids want to do well, and our kids are really invested in this thing. But then we could talk through it, show them some things on a whiteboard and talk through some stuff, and then then it's just a matter of executing blocks and see who has that will to win. And we play a style of football that wears on people physically, mentally through the course of a game. And so, being able to see that and then, get out and make some plays was huge. And I think that was kind of the story of the game. And then, we feel like we've always been doing a great job as a staff of going in at halftime, being calm and just showing them, hey, this is what it is, and kind of putting it in the kids' hands like, hey, this is what you practice every day. They weren't surprised. And, man, they just did just an awesome job of that. And so super proud of them, and it was fun. And, man, just what a great start to the year. Yeah,
no doubt. And, of course, we'll get to the finale, 31-14, and we'll obviously get to some other big plays. But I do want to bring up the first set of points that you get is a 39-yard field goal by Bobby Schmidt. And you're thinking, most people are probably thinking, oh, come on, it's not that big of a deal. Like, you got to score touchdowns, right, to get the win. But in this instance, just to get on the board, did it give you a sense of, I wouldn't say relief, but maybe it brought in some fresh air to where it's like, all right, we're finally on the board. We finally got things going. No more goose egg, and now we can move forward with this thing.
Yeah, I think that's what when you have a great kicking game, and man, we're so confident in Bobby, and we have a freshman kicker as well, Aiden. They both have great legs, man. We're confident in both of them, and so you don't want to chase points early ever, and so even though you're down, you want to play a very smart game, and you want to do things right to give yourself a kid. Even in the first quarter, you're down 14-0. You want to give yourself a shot at winning the fourth, and you have to have that long game in mind. And as a head coach, that's kind of part of the deal, right? You have to make those decisions, even though a lot of me is like, go for it.
Yeah,
you
do have,
of course, I want to go for it too, but you don't want to sabotage your own team. And when you make decisions like that, it pays off, right? And there's a reason why you do that. And man, it was great for those guys. Bobby works extremely hard. He's in his grad year, and he's working on his grad degree and playing, and super confident in him. And he did a great job. And we kicked a deep field goal with him. He's on the edge.
Yeah.
He makes those things, and it wasn't crazy to take that attempt, and we'll do that. If it's what we should do on the analytics side of things, we're gonna give them those opportunities, and because we believe in them, and we're gonna be in a game most likely where we're going to need a field goal in the fourth quarter to win. You're right, and no different than offense or defense. You want to give him opportunities to learn, and opportunities to get out there and kind of get those preseason jitters out. And so, yeah, it was awesome to get off the board. And then, yeah, I think you're right. It is a little breath of fresh air, like a little bit of success. All right, come on and let's get this right, because we were close on scoring on that drive too. So, no, it was awesome. And like you mentioned, you just want to get on early and get a feel for, hey, have some success, and then here we go, reload and make it happen. So,
well, toward the end of the first half, you get your first touchdown. Jack Mullen able to find the end zone. And we'll talk about Jack here in just a little bit. But then immediately after that, you get an interception from Nolan Ewing. And that felt like that one moment right there. I'm thinking, all right, put that down, bookmark it, because it's less than 2 minutes to go here in the first half. If you get a touchdown right here, completely different ball game. And sure enough, you get a touchdown right after that with Zach Dressler, and here we go. Now, all of a sudden, it's a completely different field. So how big was the pick by Nolan?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And I know you've watched us play for years, and people that are new to this are getting a feel for it, but our entire defense is about turnovers and takeaways. I mean, that's what we do. Take the ball away and negative plays. And so that's why we do some of the wild things that you see, and it's not conventional, but by design. And for that to pay off, and then for it being Nolan, it's just super cool because, as these people are going to see later on, just a great kid, program kid, that just makes it even more special. But, whoever it is getting those turnovers, it's just it's crushing for another team to turn the ball over, and especially in that moment when you could feel that momentum swing, and we had kind of you could feel our guys kind of coming on. I think that was a big part of the game. Even though we came out and did take care of business, that obviously kind of spearheaded that run we went on.
Well, and the thing is too, so after getting the lead, here you are getting the ball, and you drop a play. All right, Jack, we're going to try to go deep here and see what we got here. Now, it ended up being an interception, but you're trying to go for the jugular shot right off the bat, just going, hey, we're gonna go right for it. Let's see what happens here. At the end of the day, it was a turnover, but on the flip side, defensively, you put your defense in a tough position. Hey, we have the lead. We cannot let them get the lead back now, and the defense rose to the occasion.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's kind of one of those deals. Look, we love our receiving core, maybe as talented as we've had since I've been coaching at the college level. And so, when we have opportunities like that, we're gonna try to take shots, and we got to keep the ceiling on the defense, I guess, and not just have everybody under 7 yards, But yeah, no, it was a great opportunity. Don't regret it. We do it again in a heartbeat because we believe in Jack. We believe in those receivers and our offensive line. And so, yeah, for that to happen, right, and then the way our defense, what's really cool is that a team can fracture in that moment, right, because the momentum swings up, and then you turn it right back over, and it can cause a team to break apart. And maybe in the past at Friends, that's kind of what happened, right? And then for our guys, just the defense ran out there. It was all uplifting. Our offense was there, and the sideline was going nuts, encouraging those guys to finish it out. So that was cool to see and awesome. And like I said, we're out here to win, man. We're trying to win. And certainly our program has a bigger purpose than that. But there's a reason why we practice all the time, right? And we don't want to turn the ball over. But when we do, you want their defense to take the field with some confidence like that.
Well, I will say I did kind of forget a key component. It's a 55-yard touchdown run by a guy in Zach Dressler, the other run down the football field. And maybe I was like, hold on a second. I think I already misremembered something right then and there, because it was just such a big moment for the defense when you go for that big long ball and you turn it over. Man, it can be deflating, but your defense in a buckle, which is great. But let's get to Zach and what he was able to do. Over 150 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. His first carries as a Friends University Falcon. I'm sure he loves being a B-back in this offense. Just looking at him, you can just tell, physical runner. And the first half, you can see, too, he was able to rip off runs a couple different times, and that's the adjustment. You finish drives. You can sustain them, but you got to finish them, and that's what you're able to do, because Zach was able to rip off some chunks here and there, and that's something that's you're used to, at least in this type of offense with the flexbone.
Yeah, your B-backs have to produce and everything. We do it. We've done a lot of good stuff on the perimeter, with our slots and our receivers. We've had dynamic quarterbacks, and we love Jack as well. Our whole quarterback room really, but it does start there, and you have to establish that guy. And man, Zach's just weight room warrior. I mean, when you see him, obviously big, strong kid. Stellar high school career, has ripped long touchdown runs. So he's not just a one-trick deal where it's like he's going to be a hammer. He can go if you don't tackle him. And so when you have that, it kind of changes the game a little bit. And when you put the pieces around it that we have now with our slots, who are obviously dynamic players, in the receiving core that we have, on any given Saturday, it could be anyone else, but it happened to be Zach's turn, and the way that Panhandle chose to play us, that was what the right thing to do was to kind of have it go through the B-back. And there'll be other weeks where they'll decide that they don't want Zach Dressler to carry the ball, and it'll go through the slots. And then there'll be weeks where it go through the receivers. And so that's what's really cool to see our other guys, how they embraced it, celebrated Zach's success, and he did a great job. And I think that's kind of what we need him to do, until people, decide that, hey, maybe that's not an option they want, and then it'll be the other guy's turn to be on the radio show, right? But but he did a great job, awesome, great teammate, and it was fun to watch him play. That's a long process. I'm sure you'll talk to him about that later, but known Zach a long time, knew his high school football coach, recruited him, and he ended up choosing something else. But for us to be back together, it was cool to watch him, I guess, and be on the same team, and to watch him have success and know his journey, kind of what he's been through. So it was awesome. Proud of him, and man, what a great job.
No doubt. Now, part of the success, as much as we can say here, talk about the quarterback, talk about the running backs and the wide receivers. Come on, offensive line coach. Talk about the whole line here. Got to talk about the big guys up front. The one thing I noticed right off the bat, I see rotation. It's not just the same guy. It's not like, hey, you stay here at center. You had certain positions where guys played the majority of the snaps, but you rotated in different guys to get reps, and I think that's going to be valuable down the line to get different guys on the field. So your thoughts on the offensive line play? Yeah,
we like to do that. We want to play as many kids as we can. We'll do that at slot. We'll do that at offensive line, receiver. We want to, and we were very intentional about playing as many kids as we can, because number one, college football is hard. 11-game season is a long time. And you're playing big kids, and it's different than high school, right? The games are longer. It's a more physical game, and so we're able to get some guys reps, which is awesome. But no, offensive line played great for their first game experience doing it live. We really protect our kids during the week, and so when you watch us play, you might think we're just out there, pushing heavy bags all the time or something, but we don't do that, right? We do a little bit of that, but we protect our guys during the week, and so making that jump from practice to a game when you have to, be physical. We say toughness and physicality is a choice. And that was their first opportunity to prove, hey, we're going to be a physical, tough football team. And I thought they did a great job of that. Very talented defensive line. I'm sure you can see if you're watching the game, they had some big cats over there. But man, they did an awesome job. They hung in there. They got a front that we practiced, but we've never seen in a game. And so for them to go in their first game ever, with a brand new staff, all the brand new program, all the things we've already talked about, to them to see a front that we didn't expect or didn't see, for them to adjust and make it happen was. I don't know. It was phenomenal, right? And you know how it is. We love O-linemen. Obviously, I coach them, and I'm the head coach. No one loves O-linemen more than us, but it's easy to overlook them when you have a kid like Zach that runs for the yards. But they did just a phenomenal job. Proud of them, and especially when it's your guys, when you're able to go in and control a game. And then in that second half, for people that were there, that's what we want. The air came out of that stadium, and it was just dead quiet, and all you could hear was our offensive lineman pads fire off the ball, and that clock was just melting. That's beauty in my eyes. That's what you want. We say it all the time, like tell Coach Reed, hey, take the air out of this stadium. It's time. You know what I mean? And they did a good job of that, and that's all driven by the offensive line.
And you had a little rain too. I couldn't help but think, here's some Falcon weather right here for Coach Harrison.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't help but think of that for a moment.
Big raindrops in no man's land. My goodness, man. On film, it was crazy.
Yeah, I saw that on camera, and I heard the commentary going, "Oh, these are huge drops." I'm like, "Well, I know who's liking that right now." There's Coach Harrison over on the side. And I think the commentator even made the comment, well, I think Friends is going to like this. I'm like, yeah, I think Coach Harrison's going to like this. I've heard this a time or two before, It's nothing new to me. Well, it's game one. And there's so much, right? There's so many nerves that are out there for so many different players. But that quarterback spot, there's got to be a lot of nerves there. It's a flexbone. It's a new offense. This is my time here to take the start and dictate certain things. And you and I were talking before we got going here. I said, look, I know a lot of people are probably going to think about this. I watched every single snap of that game, and I couldn't help but just go, Jack Mullen hasn't muffed one center to quarterback exchange, not one. And people, I had to stress this in the flexbone, it's so huge. It's so underrated because if you got to have the timing right off the bat, first and foremost, and it all starts between center and quarterback. And if you have a couple of muff snaps, well, all of a sudden, center's like, well, now I got to change some things a little bit. Quarterback's thinking, well, maybe I got to change my hand placement.
Right.
And you start overthinking, and sometimes that can lead to turnovers. But Jack able to handle things on Saturday.
Yeah, he did awesome, man. And he played limited reps last year. I don't even know exactly how many snaps. I know, he didn't play a ton. He played a limited amount. And to come in and have not played in, years because of his, being from high school and then coming here to go out and play, the best thing we say, just so calm and collected. I think that's kind of what he brings. He's just hard to rattle. He's never going to be too high, never going to be too low. He's just going to go out and do his thing. Ran the ball early, took some shots, and got hit and kind of got back up and got in a rhythm. But man, just a steady, awesome kid, and leadership in its own way, right? Just that steadiness that he brought when he came to the sideline. He was calm and collected. Coach Reed and him are talking about what he's seeing, and so that was awesome to see. But yeah, like you talk about, no turnovers. We threw a pick, but nothing on the ground, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, what people don't understand, the way our O-line come off the ball so flat and so aggressive, and how the ballet, I guess, of that ball getting to the quarterback's hand when the O-line is moving that way is it's something you got to work on. And man, he just did an awesome at protecting the ball. Made great decisions, and so couldn't be more proud of him for him to come out and I believe his first college start. I mean, like I said, we started fresh and didn't look at it. I know he played a little bit. I don't know if he started, but regardless, to my understanding, first college start and to come out with a win in a non-conference game on the road, just I think it just kind of speaks to the kid he is, and he did a great job and was very proud of him.
Defensively, I don't know who to highlight, so that's why I look at you and go, Coach, what do you think? Because that's the thing, when you're rotating in so many different guys made different plays. There at the start of the game, tackling wise, maybe it wasn't quite there, but things changed. All of a sudden, things got better, and everyone flying to the ball. I could see the energy just based on watching things, secondary wise. Not much given up outside of, again, the first couple of drives. Other than that, everything got tightened up from that point forward.
Yeah, I think so. They did awesome. It's funny, when we had been at previous school longer, so I got to watch the defense a little more, but we were doing a whole lot with the O-line, so I was just kind of coming in and coming out of watching the defensive play. But when you go back and watch the film, one of the Davon Mason is a kid who's playing for us, who actually played with us at Bethel previously, and then he transferred here. And man, watching him play, you can see he's the older guy on the group. He's played a lot of college football. He's at Cincinnati Christian at one time before that program closed. And so his maturity and the way he played, he played just a phenomenal game. And then Nolan, like we talked about, so those guys at safeties in the back end, man, just did phenomenal. And we played just a freshman corner in Sia Ponte, who was their receivers were as talented as receivers we see. In the conference, at least definitely at the top tier conference level of receiver.
Tailback tough to take down. There's a tailback that was very tough to take down.
Quarterback's electric. I think he was freshman player of the year in their conference. So I mean, this was a talented group they played against, and for them to come out, we gave up those 14 early, and then to just kind of find their rhythm, they were absolutely running to the ball. And kind of a lot like our offense, right? There's going to be weeks where, D-line may be getting sacks, linebacker. It's just it depends on kind of what we see, and it's not a one-man show. And so I thought that was cool. Definitely a freshman named Aaron Jamison Johnson. We call him AJJ. Man, he made some awesome open field tackles, and all that works together, right? It has to be forced in by the corners and all the stuff that works out. But I thought he did a great job, and definitely I noticed, because I know Davon and I've known him for so long. He's playing at a different level than even he played at in the past, and I think that was cool for me to see, because he's one of the guys I love him, proud of him, and so thankful he's here, and I think he's going to be able to provide some leadership for that defense, and kind of like Jack does on the offensive side. And so, those guys did phenomenal. Peyton Douglas, freshman linebacker, first game ever, and Mill Valley kid, so he's been a part of some winning. But then to come in and play did great. And so, man, it was fun to watch him play. And we played a lot of freshmen, so every game we play, it's just stacking future wins too. So again, it's not to sound like the head coach card, but seriously, win or lose that game, that was a win for our program, and it's just going to create future wins, and it's why we did it, because those guys now have game experience. And our first two conference games are big boy football, and so we wanted to give ourselves as good a chance as we could to be successful in those games, and I think it did that.
Yeah, well, you bring up big boy football, there's no doubt, and it starts conference play on the road. Number 12, Kansas Wesleyan University, new head football coach, Matt Myers taking over for Myers Hendrickson. But you know how this goes. You can replace the head coach, but the tradition is very much there. That the game plan has been there. It's all started when Matt Drinkle was there, and it just simply has carried over into future years from that point forward. They certainly have a lot of offensive firepower. Don't have to worry about Stevie Williams out there guarding him. That's probably a good thing.
He might come back. You never know.
We've been dealing with as soon as I say that,
there's a chance. You know what I mean? Like, who's this Shane Williams guy?
Yeah, exactly. Offensive line, they've been particularly good up front on the offensive line. They have some experience there. Yeah, you don't have to worry about Stevie Williams or E.A. Jenkins, but still Drayvon Macon is one of the quicker guys in the conference, has a lot of speed. Running back-wise, they threw out multiple running backs last year, and a new quarterback this year in Tony White, but a guy who filled in last year against Tabor College and led him to a victory when their main starter went down. Mm-hmm. And offensively, man, I look up front and I see, man, has this guy – you sure he's got eligibility left? He's been here for 8 years, I feel like. But all of that just combined just goes to show you that this is a very quality football program, very quality football team, and there's no doubt that you'll have your hands full. It'll take a full team effort on the road in Salina to take down Kansas Wesleyan.
Yeah, we're just chasing milestones here, right? And so great opportunity for us, right? First conference win as a program, first top 25 win, top 15 win. So all these milestones it's an opportunity for us, right? And so that's what we talk about the kids, man. This is simply an opportunity to just get another milestone, right? And so, man, in this milestones on our way to our ultimate goal, which is being a nationally relevant team and at the top of the conference. And so, man, we've been in some battles with these guys. I've known Matt Myers a long time. He's a very, very awesome person and a great football coach. And so, I know he'll do a great job there. We've been in, battles with him a long time and been in some very competitive games. And, we feel like we have a good plan, and we're going to go out there and, we're going to do our thing. It's one of those deals, right? For us, man, it's a win regardless, right? So 31-4, just like the Panhandle thing, it really is. It's not coach speak. No matter what happens, this is a win for us. And I think for all of us as a program, you can learn from this, right? When you look at their roster, all these senior defensive linemen, senior offensive linemen, if you want to be relevant nationally, so if we at Friends want to be ranked number 12 in the country one day, all right, it's very simple. Have seniors. Have guys that stick this thing out, right, and that get this game experience together, and that's what they have. And so, they have, regardless of coaching change, their offensive line coach is a former high school coach that I've known a long time. Man, Michael Hall does a great job. And so they will present some challenges. Having said that, we're going to have a great plan. And, we do have a game under our belt. I think that gives us a competitive advantage. And then in the end, it's going to be who can, something bad's going to happen to us, something bad's going to happen to them, who handles that really well. And so that's what will be fun to see. Our guys have shown they'll handle adversity really well. And so then it'll be just coming up with another quality opponent. Just as talented as Panhandle, but this program has playoff experience. This program has winning experience. And that'll be the difference maker, right? And so, you should want that as a program. You should want to play people that make you better. We've always, my philosophy has always been play really quality opponents, because that, again, it's always setting up for that next win. And I can tell you, our kids, man, this is Thursday. We've had a great week of practice. Our kids are excited about it, man. It's just a great opportunity to go in and give this thing our best shot, and honestly just go and another opportunity as a program to take a step forward. Man, if we can get those milestones, it would be great. And I think our kids are ready for that. And honestly, I'm just excited. It's going to be a great atmosphere there. People love football up there, and that's what we want. It's no different than the next game, right? Our first home game. These are top-tier opponents in the conference, and it's going to be a great example for us to see, okay, what does that look like? It's a measuring stick. Are we there, or do we have room to grow? And certainly, we're not going to be perfect. But man, if we can hang in there the way we did against Panhandle, man, I like our opportunity, and I think it's an opportunity to get another milestone for our program.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Head football coach at Friends University, Terry Harrison, here on the Friends University Coaches Show. It's Friends and number 12 Kansas Wesleyan on Saturday up at the Grace Family Sports Complex. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. We still have more to come here on the Friends University Coaches Show. Up next, you'll hear from Nolan Ewing and Zach Dressler. More coming your way here in moments here on the Friends University Coaches Show. Welcome back to the Friends University Coaches Show. Pat Strathman with you. Friends University on the road this week, taking on number 12 Kansas Wesleyan up in Salina, Kansas. Pleased to be joined by two football players from Friends University. Zach Dressler here to my right, and Nolan Ewing here to my left. The 1-0 Friends Falcons hoping to make it 2-0 after a 31-14 win over Oklahoma Panhandle State University. Fellas, glad to have you here. Zach, how you feeling? Glad to have you here on the Coaches Show.
Feeling good. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Nolan, how about you?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Good.
Rolling to week 2.
Oh, yeah, week number 2. Here we go. Well, 31-14. Anytime you go on the road, that's always going to be a challenge in itself. To go behind 14-0, it's like, wow, we're really going to get thrown into the fire, see what's going to happen here. Test that chemistry right off the bat. Can we come together? And at the end of the day, 31 unanswered points, 31-14 win to go 1-0. Not bad. Nolan, let's start with you. Your thoughts on game number 1 against Oklahoma Panhandle State?
I just really happy with how we all came together, and we showed everything that we can do. We can come together and give all effort, and nobody's out there down because we were down 14-0, and we bonded and showed that we could still come back and fight.
Yeah, no doubt. And from a defensive standpoint, to pitch a shutout the rest of the way, that's great. Offensively, things get rolling. And Zach, certainly you were a part of that. So you had a couple touchdowns in the game. Of course, the flexbone, it all kind of depends on what the quarterback, Jack Mullen, wants to do. So he reads the situation. Sometimes you benefit, sometimes you don't. But your thoughts on game number 1 against the Aggies of Oklahoma Panhandle State University?
It was a good game. We came out, new team. We were all still getting kind of used to each other. We bonded a lot through camps and everything. We had a few bugs to work out, but then once we got those bugs figured out, we started to come together, and our offense started to roll, our defense started to roll, and we started to make things happen. It was a really fun game to be a part of.
Yeah, a few bugs to work out. From your perspective, from an offensive perspective, the flexbone, you guys were able to rip off some big yardage plays, and then things would kind of stall a little bit. You had to settle for a field goal, or maybe you had to think about going for it on 4th down, wherever it might be. Things stalled a little bit, but all of a sudden things started to click. Why was that, in your opinion?
We got more comfortable. I mean, it was first game. I think we had a little jitters, first game jitters.
Yeah.
but we really started to come in. The coaches were working on getting us the game plan, tweaking a few things on the sideline, and we just started to click, and things started to hit.
What changed from a defensive standpoint, Nolan? Was there anything that really changed? I watched the entire game live, and I don't know if there was really much that really changed, but certainly there were some adjustments that all of a sudden slowed things down for the Aggies.
Well, the coaches really got us right with some things. There were some things that needed like actual adjustments play-wise, and then I think we all kind of woke up a little bit after that first drive, and then second drive they hit with that quarterback power, but we kind of just woke up and brought physicality and effort, and that really changed our side.
No doubt. Interception in the game, which, hey, you're 1 for 1. You get a pick. That's always good, right? That's got to jack you up for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, just willing to take any opportunity that we can to get picks. That's kind of our defense is we want to get as many turnovers as possible, and so whenever they present themselves, we got to take them.
Yeah, it almost feels like I don't want to say you have to, but when you have a flexbone offense that handles the rock, if you can get additional takeaways, man, that's got to be a huge boost for this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's part of just our game plan momentum. Like once you get a turnover, just take that momentum and run. Like right before half, get that pick, then we give the ball to him and let him go take it in the end zone.
Well, speaking of which, you're the one that got the touchdown that I felt like was so crucial. If you don't get that touchdown, who knows what's going to happen the rest of the game. You get a TD, all of a sudden it's like, all right, now everything feels like it's in favor of Friends University. How big was that moment for you?
It was a big moment. It was a big moment for the team. I feel it was just a big momentum boost because it was kind of eye opening. It was like, all right, we got this. We can run on these guys. Nolan again set us up huge with that pick, and it just when he hit that, you could just see in the offense. We were like, all right, we're gonna go do some stuff now.
Yeah, time to capitalize.
Yeah, it was a big momentum boost going into halftime. Being able to come back and be up was huge, and then coming out after halftime and being able to just kind of do what we do. We come out comfortable and we hit big plays. So.
Yeah, breathe a little bit.
Yeah,
that's probably the most important thing, right?
Yep,
it's
exactly
because when you fall in a 14-0 hole, it's especially when you're on the road. I feel like things unravel so much faster when you're on the road and you fall behind by a couple scores. Some teams can handle it, and the fact you guys were able to handle it game number 1, what does it say about this year's team?
It says that we can handle adversity, and we're coming together. I'm really excited to see what we do this week. Mm-hmm. Last week was a really, really good thing to see as a player in the fact that when we did hit adversity or when adversity hit us, that we didn't just fall apart. So I think we're sticking together and we're doing good. I'm excited to see what holds.
Okay, well I got to ask some more questions here. Let's start with the offensive side. Here you are as a running back. It's not like you're the QB, right? QB's got to do a bunch of reads. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you're not a key cog in this flexbone offense. What's been like picking up the flexbone offense from your standpoint? Or maybe is it simple as, hey, I'm going to go like this, and if the ball stays in my belly, it's as simple as that?
Honestly, our coaches have made it very simple, especially for the B-backs. They come in. Every week we've got a set game plan. They tell us exactly what we need. It's the most classroom offense that I've been a part of. And once you figure it out, then it's just going to the field and putting it together. So I love it. I absolutely love this offense.
Of course.
It's very fun.
Shocking that a B-back, right? A guy who's built like this guy right here. It's stunning that a guy who's like a brick wall right over here is able to do something like that or wants something like that.
Put your head down and go.
Yeah, of course. It's as easy as that. And Nolan, for you, watching the game, and everyone knows this in the KCA, so you've seen this on film with what they like to do on third downs, get everyone standing up, be chaotic, not letting the offense dictate what's going to happen. Never know who's going to shoot, who's going to fire, who's going to come, who's going to sag off. What's been like getting a chance to be a part of that?
I mean, it was definitely a major change whenever it first happened in the spring. But after we learned the plays, learned what we were supposed to do, it's very simple. It's just do what we're supposed to do. As long as we do our job, get our objective, and get to the ball, everything will work. It's really just everybody fly to the ball. That's our big rule. And, don't let the offense manipulate us. We choose what we do. They come out, we can make some adjustments, but we're still going to do what we're going to do, and you aren't going to change us. So it's just we got to fly to the ball and make plays.
Is it wild, though? I mean, come on. Like, trying to do it, I don't know how you do it. Imagine from your point, too, going, I have no idea what's going on. Like, I have no clue what's taking place here. But, yeah, it's all science. You know what you're doing. So it's chaotic, but chaotic fun almost, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best part about it is that you look at the offense and they have no idea. Because, like, they could think that they have an idea, and then it's like, oh, no, they're not doing at all what we thought that they were doing. It's just that's the fun part about it.
What's it like going up against that in practice?
Very confusing. we have our set rules, and when they move around and jump around, it's very confusing. I would not want to be on the opposite side of the ball. So
and flexbone wise, you know what it's like going up against the flex, but still though, it's not easy like going up against something like that in practice.
No, it's definitely you got to bring physicality. That's the biggest part about it. You know, you're going to get hit in the mouth, no matter. I mean, and then you think you're going to get hit in the mouth, and then quarterback drops back, and there's a bomb on your head. So it's just kind of one of those. You gotta. It's definitely difficult. It's not one of the easier things to go against. I'd much rather go against a flex than against a flex bone.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I had a chance to come to practice one time. How wild is Coach Kemp? I mean, his energy. I mean, come on. His energy level is just through the roof.
He's a junkyard dog. That's what he is. He brings all that energy, and that's
he's the meme, right? The little dog right there in the X-ray. That's him right there.
That's him.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. What's been like getting a chance to learn this offense with a new coaching staff led by Terry Harrison and obviously Coach Reed, Coach Kelly. What's been like being a part of this so far?
it's been really fun. Like I said earlier, they teach it like a classroom, and they really give us our X's and O's, tell us what we're supposed to do, and then it's up to us to go do it on the field. And really, really good group of guys. I love the coaching staff. All the coaches, they're awesome, fun to be around. They keep things light, but they're also very business-oriented, and we get to business and we do what we need to do.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about you, Zach. Here you are. As a junior, you're at Friends University. At least that's what it says on the roster. With COVID, you can never realize what age anyone is anymore. I have no idea. It's like, oh, yeah, that guy is it says here he's a sophomore. How is that possible? He's been playing for 2 years. But that's just how it goes. With COVID, everyone kind of like mixes things up. But what drew you to Friends University to come out this way to Wichita?
I mean, I live in Douglas, so it's real close. I have had some history with Coach Harrison and the guys. They recruited me to Bethel, and circumstances took me away from Bethel, and then circumstances brought me back. I dealt with a few family issues late last fall and decided to come back, and seen that Coach Harrison and the guys had moved here, and so I was very excited to come over and talk to them, and I'm glad I'm here now. It's a really good place to be.
Douglas Bulldog.
Yes,
Did I
sir.
get the mascot correct? Okay. I
Yes,
always like trying to figure out the mascot. Sometimes you remember them, sometimes you don't. I got to make sure. So what's it like getting a chance to stay in the Sunflower State and getting a chance to play football that's somewhat close, if you will?
It's awesome. I mean, it's something not everybody gets to experience. I love football. It's always been a passion of mine, and to be able to continue that in Kansas and to be able to continue that close to home and in college has been a real blessing. Very grateful for the opportunity.
Have you always been a physical tailback?
Yes, sir.
Never has been a guy that makes one cut and that's it, or I'm going to do a little human joystick action. No, it's just simply I'm lowering my shoulder. You're going to feel me. This is how it's going to work.
Yes, sir. I've always liked contact. I've always been a one cut and move kind of back. Try to take the easiest path. The easiest path is through a hole. You go through the hole. So it's been real fun. I love the be-back position.
Okay.
Fits me very well.
Okay, fair enough. Nolan, I don't want to call you grandpa on this team, but here you are being an upperclassman. What's it been like being a part of this group here this year?
It's great. This is the most team, like, the best bond I've ever been a part of. Like, we've been on teams previously, but haven't really felt like a team. Felt like just a group of dudes, like a group here. But then we went out on Saturday and we played together, and you could see it on Saturday that we didn't bond as a team very well. Here we are a team, and we're like a family. we play for each other. The guy, like, I play for him, he plays for me. Like, I know if I let him down, I'm going to see it, and I'm going to feel like I let him down. And so it's great. This is definitely – it's great to have this as, like, my senior year, whether I come back or not. Mm-hmm. It's great to at least have 1 year that's like this.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you whether or not you're going to come back or not because everything happens, right? You know, stuff can take place, and you'll make that decision when the time comes. So whenever that moment happens, it happens. So with that being said, here you are going out. It very well could be your last year. It might not be your last year. So when you go out on the field, how much do you truly just soaking in that this could be my final time playing Kansas Wesleyan, or this could be my final game? Does it kind of get you more amped up, I suppose, being on the field?
It definitely does. I didn't even really think about it till like our pre game. I was like out there and I was like, wow. I was like, I mean, this could be my last game. Like, circumstances could happen. It could be my last time ever playing football. And it just kind of made me cherish it a lot more and really, like, enjoy the game instead of stressing about it. Like, that was the first time I ever didn't really stress too much about it. Like, obviously I want to play good, we want to win, but I want to have fun while doing it. So it's just it was kind of eye-opening for me.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, here you are in your senior year. You being a part of the defense, sounds like you, just based on listening to you, it's like, man, look at this leadership right here. How important is it to hold everyone accountable? That's the thing about families, right? You know, everyone's got to hold each other accountable. So how much do you go about doing that?
It's really – it's kind of what we take this from them. Mean no offense, take no offense. Like, everybody knows that if you're doing something that does not fit our team culture, we're going to say something. And everybody knows it, and we expect the same back from them. If I'm doing something, I want them to say it to me. And so, like, if we know that you took a wrong step doing a press, we're going to try and help you. We're going to peer coach. And it's the same thing. Like, it could be a freshman telling me that, and I could be telling another fifth-year senior or another older guy, but we're all going to do it no matter the age, no matter who you are. We're always just here for each other's, like, best.
Well, this week, number 12, Kansas Wesleyan on the road. Coyotes have been near the top of the conference for a little while now. They have been. I have experience there, obviously, witnessing 3 of 4 conference championships come their way. Last year, they were very, very good. 3-way tie at the top of the conference, which hasn't happened very often. So when you see that, it just goes to show you how tough the KCAC is, first and foremost. A lot of good guys in this conference, obviously. But Kansas Wesleyan, from a defensive standpoint, you look at the offense, it's been one of the premier offenses in the country for the last so many years. You don't have to worry about guarding Stevie Williams anymore, so that's probably a blessing in disguise. Don't worry about E.A. Jenkins, but they still have a very talented roster. So when you go into this game, what's really, I guess, your thoughts on Kansas Wesleyan?
I'll definitely respect them, but not fear them. So we're still aren't gonna let them dictate what we do. No manipulation, obviously, but defend the bombs because we know that they like to take bombs, and they try to run the ball hard too. They're just run and then throw bombs. So we're got to defend the bomb and then tackle the run. That's really kind of where we're at with this. Is we just want to keep plays to minor plays.
And Zach, meanwhile for you and the flexbone, Kansas Wesleyan's defense has also been pretty solid too. They have a lot coming back here for 2022. Linebackers up front, I feel like they have 3 defensive linemen that have been around for 18 years. So they've been around for a long time, but obviously very, very good. Secondary-wise, very talented as well. I'm sure it's Kansas Wesleyan. This is just a very quality opponent and something that you're probably going to relish here on Saturday.
Yeah, they are a very quality opponent. I think the biggest keys to what we got to do is we got to hold on to the ball, and we just got to execute coach's plan. I mean, they've put together a heck of a game plan, and we just need to come out, execute that, hold on to the ball, and those are the biggest, and be physical. Those are the biggest keys to this week. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, no doubt. I think we're all very excited as well. Zach, Nolan, thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate your time here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach, Nolan, watch them up in Salina. It's number 12 Kansas Wesleyan and Friends University at 7 o'clock at the Graves Family Sports Complex. That does it for us here today on another edition of the Friends University Coaches Show. Thank you so much for listening, and Talons up.